Grinder, I'll drive her. Mama says that I never mind her. And over rains, I'm insane. The teacher says. All right, all right. I am sorry. It is 6:45. I'm 15 minutes late. Good reason, though. Good reason. Take a look at disclosure, and let's get to the 6:30 Club. Good morning, everyone. My name is Scott Redler. I'm the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. It is 6:45. I do apologize, but I had a few extra things I had to do this morning. For some of you that know, back in 2017, I had back surgery, believe it or not, and that was a little wear and tear, 2 Ironman, 10 marathons, whatever it was. A friend of mine's wife actually, is having very bad back problems. And I have to tell her a little bit about the surgeon, a little bit about how to get it done, and hopefully it helped. So got a little caught up. Anyway, it is 6:45. It is July 23rd. It is Tuesday. It is raining out, which is good because the grass is getting a little brown, and this way my wife doesn't have to, water everything. But anyway, and things are kind of flattish, So at this point, we're about to get really into the nuts and bolts of earnings season. You have some areas of the sectors that make money trades, and sometimes it's like a little noisy. And we're a little bit in an interesting spot. Let me see if anyone's tuning into the late 6:30 Club. Yep, we got Ali in. We got Mike. What up from Lumpur, Kuala Lumpur? Mike, where is that? We got Dallas, Texas in the house. Caracas. What up, Bobby? We got Blair hanging on a bar. That's true. Or I told her, you go on the floor, and I used to, like, if this is my back, I would put my feet up on the bed and create a little space, and that eased some of the pressure, until you can go. Because I think she can't get a date for another 10 days, which is kind of crazy. But anyway, that's, medicine these days. What up, Andy? What up, Austin? What up, South Texas? All right, so, I was talking to my friend Pete on the way in also, and so this is the question, I think, okay? All right, if you look here at the chart of the SPYs, it's like you don't even need to have really projections or a base case, but a lot of, I'm going to be on Fox Business tomorrow, and the question is, do I think 547.91 is the low between now and Labor Day? Obviously, it doesn't really matter, but just thinking about it, like you had this break to the downside, you had 3 days down, now you're bouncing up. Do I think that this is going to be a rally back into 556 to 558 and then roll back over and come back to here, or maybe a little bit lower? I'm not so sure. I kind of think that this is not going to be the low of August. But again, it doesn't matter. You don't need to, come out with it to make money. You just need to trade these ranges. And I know right when we broke below here, okay, I was in the 555 puts. I sold some premium, made a lot of good money short the SPYs, not knowing where we're going to go. I did think we can get into this 545. And I kind of think we could see this 540 to 542.50 day before the summer's all over. But we'll see. At this point, the SPYs are up a whole 15 cents. You have Tesla after the close. You have Google after the close, depending on how it reacts. Then we'll see, do we see this next little zone? But all I know is that, if the active bears that took the bull right here want to keep control, they probably can't let the buyers penetrate much further than this 556 to 559. So into that move, if you think we're going to come back down to here, maybe you go buy some puts for mid-August, or sell some premium, or just sell some longs and pick your spots. And there's been a lot of spots to pick. I tell you, not to toot my own horn, but I friggin' absolutely crushed this for all of you, okay? Going into the CPI, my entire community, or most of them, I was on friggin' Fox Business. I'm like, I'm buying the 201 calls. It was Tuesday. The CPI was Friday, and those calls were like $1.50 because no one believed in it, and we sold them into this spot for like 12. Then I was like, all right, it's not worthy. Into this bar right around 221, public. I'm like, I'm shorting the 222s all the way up. I was shorting the 222s, the 224s, the 225s. And then you had this red dog reversal, which we all know. I've been talking about the red dog reversal my whole career, or actually the last 10 days. where we pushed above 224.86, hit that, and some guys just got short there. They didn't even try and anticipate this. That's when I shorted more, and then that's where the big trade occurs. This was your action area to get short. That was the rubber match spot. In order to have another full up day, it would have to get above and stay above. Instead of pushed above, squeezed some maybe early shorts out that couldn't handle it, baited some people in because you had friggin' Tom Lee saying we're going up 40%, in 5 days. Can't you just say we're going to maybe go by the end of the year, not by the summer, to induce people to come in? So anyway, so you don't even Tom, who's been a right, you have to trade on your own time frame. So that was the red dog reversal. Then as it came into here, I'm covering all my shorts. I'm selling puts. This was Friday. Let's look for a spot from below 216 to 212 or whatever it is. And then yesterday, just as who the hell let Mike Wilson speak again? All of a sudden, I see an article from Mike Wilson at 6 o'clock in the morning yesterday when the IWMs were kind of flattish. And then PS, what did it do? It did another red dog reversal where it went below 215.85, reclaimed it, and went as high as 220 plus. So if you sold puts, you collected all the premium. If you bought calls, you made 100%. I made 100% on the 221s. And if you bought it and traded it, you did really well. So bookend red dog reversals. And now, probably needs a little time. I wouldn't be buying it up 20 cents or shorting it, but that's how you identify your spots without having to make big projections. You look at the price action, you have your tactics, and you go with it. Okay, now to me, it's going to be a little noisy in the IWM. Okay, IWM right now is up another 67 cents. If you took it long, you trim some. This 221 was where it broke that low. So this will probably be a spot where it needs to pause. Probably not a spot you need to short, but definitely a spot you probably don't want to add to today. So you just got to think about it the right way. What up, Steve Dolan? Massive Piqua. There you go. You're watching the SMHs. That's a good thing. Mike is very good. He's on the alpha team. The SMHs is what led the market lower. They topped first, and then tech topped, and then the spies followed. That's the sequence of the three of them. So the SMH is trying to bounce. Okay. Gave you a little bit of a bounce yesterday. Not a huge bounce, but it did take out Friday's high, so it squeezed a little bit. You still had a spot of 260. It still can go a little bit more, but then you have NXPI lower. You have more talk about Nvidia chips not going to China. The same news recycled 100 times. And at this point, where's the semis this morning? Down $2. Okay, so this is 255.74. So today will be interesting. Do the semis hold 255 and go green, or do the semis just engulf all of yesterday? And that'll probably tell you that you're still in a bit pretty in a corrective phase for the Qs and for the SMHs, et cetera, et cetera. And if you happen to be long a little bit of the SMHs, you know what? You knew that two big earnings reports were coming out, so you took a little risk, and it's probably not. I don't hold it against you. I actually still have a little Nvidia on, so I bought Nvidia, playing it for a bounce. It also, I thought maybe Nvidia could get towards this 127 area. It closed pretty well. If the report was good, it'd be up $1.50. Instead, Nvidia's down 80 cents. Not a big deal. I had a lot of Nvidia on during the day, and I took a little bit overnight. So now we'll see. Does Nvidia go? So today will be good for clues of the semis, right? Can Nvidia go from down 80 cents, where you could buy versus a 515 low, to go green, push above yesterday's high of, just say 124.07? Might as well put that in. I'm just giving you the thought process of a trader, not of one that plays one on TV that probably doesn't have any positions ever on, and whatever. Anyway, we won't get into that. But if you go right here, this gap, you could say this gap is full. Let's get this out of the way so we could see. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so bottom line is there was enough power in the video to get above this 122. So here's 124. Let's get this out of the way. So you could see this is where it kind of broke down from. So this wouldn't be the end of the world if it retested. So there's a little bit more room. So in my head, I'm like, if it gets above 122.40, could probably see towards this low here is 127. And then that could be a lower high. You have 140, 136. This could be the spot if it wanted to go. Maybe it doesn't happen. Maybe today, all of a sudden, Nvidia, opens down 80 cents, goes down 3. I lose a little bit of money. And then I'm like, all right, NVIDIA's got more to go. And then the next time NVIDIA tests the 50-day, which it held 3 different times, which held big support, it breaks, and that brings you down to 110. So that's how you kind of think about if this, then that, because that's what we do as traders. We have if this, then that, not watch them on TV and try and mimic what they say, because chances are they don't do what we do. And anyway, I'll be on TV tomorrow. With that being said, you can watch me though, not anyone else. No, I'm kidding. I'm a little bit of a hybrid. So we'll see. So I think the video will be important. I think the SMHs at kind of 255-ish for today will be important. And then obviously after the close, you have Tesla and Google. So let's talk about Tesla for a second. I am not in love. I am not in love. I'm only in love with my wife, my son, and my dog. No, I'm kidding. But this is a nice little setup here. Okay, we did catch Tesla very well. First of all, if you remember down here, it was like priced for failure, and all we needed was anything better than feared, and we had a big move, and it was a great move, and made a lot of money there. Beautiful. Anyway, now the question is, it's gonna have to do better. It's gonna have to maybe beat a little bit, and then you need Elon to paint the rosiest picture about autonomous driving, humanoids, this, and that, and perhaps you can get another move above this, 271 area. Then if you look here at the weekly chart, then potentially, if you look, this actually looks pretty symmetrical, where if it gets above 271, there's really nothing to 299, 312. And it doesn't have to do it. So what did I do yesterday? Just for S's and G's. You know what S's and G's are? Anybody? You know what? I bought some 275 calls for $3, risking 3. You could buy 10 of them. You're risking $3,000. And if it happens to get above this, you could buy 20 of them. You could buy 50 of them. Buy whatever you want. Maybe there's a nice move towards 299, and it's a lotto type play. I only trade earnings setups that I think could make me double or triple. Otherwise, I don't need to be in it. I wasn't in Netflix because I didn't think Netflix could make me double or triple, and Netflix was nothing. Google's coming out after the close, and to be honest, this big pivot area was the last time I wanted to play it, and we had a great trade up until about here, and now I have no FOMO that if Google is solid and raises and whatever, that it's going to get above 191.75, and I just don't, to me that's not a great setup, but it could happen. So I'm not playing Google. I'm playing Tesla. Maybe I'll trade Google after, and I'll have other things that get affected by Google, but I'm not really going to trade it. It's not that big of a deal. And as far as Amazon, I don't like Red Dog. Why don't you talk about Amazon anymore? Because Amazon is not worth talking about. Amazon setup became crap. Okay, Amazon gave us a really nice trade where everyone in Twitter is all over it. Yes, and there was a really nice juicy trade when it got above this 191.70 for the first time. Remember, those options went nuts. Then it looked like we were going to hold this prior breakout, and then it was up here getting tight, and then failed. And then since then you had a bear flag, and then came even further down. At this point, you know what? There's better things to do. How much time and how much space in real estate do you have in your trading, setup? There's just been better things to do. Anyway, exactly. Bobby says people need to talk less and listen more. Bezos selling another $5 billion more of Amazon. You know what? I don't have enough buying power to buy him shares, and nor do I care. So let him sell it. Let McKenzie sell it. I don't need to be so active in Amazon. Okay, you know what we've been active in? We've been active in the small caps. We've been active in the crypto stocks. Yes, today IBIT is lower, which is a little bit annoying. How much is it down? It's down 80 cents. Not the end of the world. 38.13. Let's see where that is on the chart. Closed strong, so it didn't really give you like any warning, but that's what crypto does. This is where it just broke above. I've been in IBIT since down here. This is the ETF that correlates to Bitcoin. I will probably buy a little bit more, okay, into this spot. It's come a long way. Where is it right now? 38.11. What's this right here? It's actually, it's look how extended it is. But anyway, what do I think? I think at some point, whether it's first week in August, whether it's in September, it's going to take out this 41 to 42, and probably be 45 to 50. That means Bitcoin's taking out 71 to 74 and should be well over 80,000 plus. When the market, when it's coming in, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to accumulate some coin, because look at this nice, beautiful channel. And I do think at some point it's going to take out this 283 with some power. Here's your daily look. Here's your weekly look. Okay. And the best way to probably do it is with options. So lately, the last 3-4 days, I keep buying coin when it's lower and I'm making great cash flow. So if Bitcoin's down and coin is down, what you want to do is you want to be strategic. And look, coin's only down 43 cents. It's strong. So chances are you could probably go out to, if you want to be safe, go out to like mid-September and buy like a $300 calls or buy $320 calls, because if it's going to go through there, here's 360 and there's 400. Anyway, it does feel like, there's a lot going on there. Ethereum to 10,000. All right. You guys all trade the doubles and the triples and this and that. Mike says Bitcoin needs to rest. It could rest for a day or so. It's not a big deal. Again, when do my that Allison's asking when my Teslas. I'm in it for an earnings play. Today's Tuesday. I did options for Friday. If it's going to get through 271, it's going to happen with a great report, decent guidance, and Elon going crazy. If it doesn't happen, I want to lose less. So someone did point out, though, to me yesterday that there was a ton of September 300 calls going off. Some call sweeper, if you want to post it, was buying a ton of these 300s. So if that's the case, maybe that's the way they're playing this earnings, is they're giving themselves some time and they're paying a little bit more time, but a little bit less, obviously 300s are a little different than 275s. Coin Unch, I know it's pretty crazy, right? Hey, Rick, my buddy, how you doing? Anyway, so we'll see. What else is happening this morning? I still think Palantir is hanging in there really well. Yesterday, kind of got caught up in a sell program, but it held where it had to. Look how it held nicely while the markets were pulling in. So it feels like, Palantir has a home higher at some point. Also, by the way, Reddit, which has been a real big pain. Okay. A lot of people weren't talking about the deal that they made with the NFL and a bunch of other sports teams, et cetera, et cetera. I kind of feel like this at some point in whenever it's going to be, it could be September, it could be whenever, it's going to take out this area and go a lot higher. So that's something maybe you want to also position in for September, October. So anyway, I saw that yesterday. Spot, okay. Yeah, I haven't looked at Spot in a while. The chart's going to be all weird. Let's see, Spotify. Yeah, well, it's not looking so great. Anyway, some of the, I hate to say it, some of the Microsoft, if you didn't buy Microsoft on Friday when you had the outing, okay, then you don't deserve to buy it, to be honest. Okay, Microsoft, you had your emotional down move on what's it called on Friday, where it retested the fourth. Remember this breakout that we played awesome right here? We were buying at 423 through 433. I think I was done with that trade into 453. And yes, I missed that last part of that. So if you didn't buy Microsoft into here, I don't think you should be buying it up here. Right now it's at 444. Okay. This is where the resistance is. So a lot of these things that have come in that are bouncing are coming right into some moving averages that are rolling. Here, it was above the 8-day moving average. That was when Microsoft was super duper strong. Right here is where it broke the upper wedge to get active traders out. So this was a nice retest bounce. This is not where you buy Microsoft, in my humble opinion. Same thing with like the SPYs. That's kind of how I'm, looking at the market here. Okay, you had you had this, move, and then all of a sudden, it broke this area, and then if you bought a little bit of the dip now, actually, where's the other moving average? Actually, it took back this. So anyway, actually, I think 456 is a spot. Where is the Qs? That's a better example. So here, the Qs, which gave you that sell signal and then lagged. Okay, you had a buyable spot into support, and now the question is, does it come back into the moving averages and get rejected and go lower, or does it push through and then maybe start something longer term? So usually when you get the buyable dip, when instead of holding the moving averages, it gets rejected into the moving averages if it's not going to be great. Apple I haven't really done much with. Apple, to me, it was like my number one focus for a good 4 to 6 weeks, right when it took out this 197. Why? Because this was really a big spot. Took it out, and then I really focused again on it, thinking that 220 was not going to be the high, that it was going to build a nice bull flag, which it did. And then I haven't traded it since I think I got out of my trade here, and just been noisy. Okay, between Trump and China and tariffs and this and mega cap tech being out of play, I don't think I've traded Apple once in 3-4 days. There's always a time and a place depending on what's happening. We all switched to the small caps, and we caught a beautiful long in the IWM, a great short, a long yesterday. So maybe, I'm just saying, so you don't always have to be in the exact same place, when it moves down the list. Like this went from the A list to back to the B list, and now we'll see what happens here. But you should be watching this, because if this were to break this little spot, chances are it's telling you that tech has further to go to the downside, which probably means the other question that I started the 630 Club with: does last week low hold for the rest of the summer or break? And if Apple were to break this 222-ish area, chances are there's more downside, which means the Qs have more downside. If and then you have to be a little bit more careful. That's it. Boeing, Boeing has been a pain in the butt. It's been a battleground. Look, this was Boeing above the 8-day moving average. This was a really nice active sequence that broke. It's kind of wedging right here. I do have some smart friends who say they're smart. Doesn't mean they're smart. That manage billions of dollars, and they're telling me that you should be buying Boeing for a move in the fall. So I went out and I bought some options just to have. It's not trading right at all. It looks like you could break this and go back down to these lows. But I think if you don't trade for a living and you think that Boeing's going to get rid of the bad news cycle that it's had, chances are Boeing will be just fine at some point. But you could have said the same thing about McDonald's, about Starbucks, and about Nike. All great companies, great brands, and they've been absolutely annihilated. So as a trader, if you try to buy a dip there, you're not getting paid for the month of July. But if you're an investor, chances are at some point you'll be fine. You can't do that with no-name stocks, but with Boeing, maybe it's fine. Some people did say, look at Nike. Nike finally gave you a little bit of a lower level, poke its head up, and at some point maybe it gets a little bit into that gap. So that's interesting. I'm actually in ON. I think ON on cloud is stealing a lot of Nike's lunch. You had a red dog reversal here in ON. You look at I haven't looked at the weekly chart in a while. The weekly chart, looks pretty damn good. I know my son Chase, who's a rising sophomore, he has like 4 pair of these. I don't even know the last time he bought a Nike, to be honest. And I have a pair of these. This is what gets me my height. Get an extra 1.5 inches on these things. Anyway, where is this? You can't see it in my fake blue screen. There it is, the OnCloud. Anyway, CELH, a lot of. If I had $1 for every time somebody said, I need to buy a dip in CELH or even BABA, I'd have a lot of dollars, but I'd lose a lot trading. It looked like there was a little bottom tail yesterday. A little bit. And listen, as a trader, you could do those. If you get out of the way when this broke right here and broke the 8-day moving average, which is a rule and a tactic that I teach you guys thousands of times, then maybe down here it's oversold enough to play a little bit of a bounce. What's it doing this morning? CELH, you're up a whole 36 cents. But look, just look at the rules here. Okay, broke. It's been below the 8-day this entire time. You're not long something below the 8-day. Then maybe you tried it here and got stopped out. So now if you have here, maybe you see what it does next time. It's fine. Anyway, Chase did dunk for the first time, and now he's in East Stroudsburg at some kind of basketball camp Monday through Wednesday. They say once you dunk 8 out of 10 times, but it's really not official until you earn 2 points for it in a game. Anyway, now I got to jump. Holy cow, it's 9 after. Thanks for tuning in. I was a little late. I do not know if last week's lows in the SPYs, the Qs, and the semis are going to be the lows of August. I don't. But what we do know is where there is some resistance, where the oscillator went from plus 80 to neutral, and now we'll see what type of reaction we have to Tesla and Google tonight. We'll see what do the semis do today and figure it out along the way. And again, yesterday I was buying IWM, and people are like, Mike Wilson says the rally and the small caps are over. I'm like, I don't care what Mike Wilson or anyone says. Let's look at the charts. Let's have our tactics. Let's look at the X's and O's, get our mind right so we can execute and drown out the noise, because there's a ton of noise out there, especially coming out of Washington. I'm not getting into that. That's a bunch of craziness. But anyway, trust yourself, trust your process, work on yourself, work on your process. If you are not doing well and you say it's my fault, meaning your fault or my fault, that's when you make a change, not blame the market, blame the dog, blame whoever. You say, hey, it's my fault. I wasn't prepared enough. It's my fault. I had too much size. It's my fault. I started too early. It's my fault. My P&L isn't where it wants to be. Then you start making some changes in your trading strategy. You stop blaming everybody, and that's how you get ahead. Later, guys.